Well, hello, everybody in Facebook land. I feel like I should be going live on Instagram at the same time, and I need to get my iPad back in action for 2022 because, yeah, how are you? It's January 2nd. Yeah, baby. It's January 2nd. Can you believe it? This year's already flying by. And I meant to do this video a couple of days ago on the 31st on New Year's Eve, but life happened. So I'm here now, and I want to encourage anyone who's on with me to join me today and just kind of like talking about gratitude for 2021, because most of the time you see the poster like, F you, we're done. Like, don't let the door hit you on the way out, 2021. But you know what? There are always things we can look back and be grateful for, even if you feel like a lot of it stunk or sucked, or maybe what you were hoping would happen in the year did not. Know that you're right where you're supposed to be. Like, start this year off knowing that you're right where you need to be, right place, right time, always. That is sort of like a universal law, the law of spirit, source, God, universe, that you're on your path. And you might be wanting to smack me right now going, Jen, what do you mean I'm right where I'm supposed to be? This sucks. Like, I don't, there's all these awful things happening. And I would just invite you to, first of all, take some deep breaths, if your mind is going there, and know that at any time, your circumstances can change. At any time, you can change your circumstances. At any time, you can shift your thinking. At any time, you can take different action, different inspired action. Because most of the time, yes, there's some shit that just happens and life throws stuff at us, and we have to just really adapt, figure it out, cope with it. First, biggest example, 2020 and 2021, what's going on in the world, the lockdowns and things, right? That's not, we didn't manifest that. Maybe there are some spiritual folks that would say we manifested it as a collective, but I'm going to say no, that maybe there is some sort of a larger purpose or some sort of thing going on around all of this. And there very well may be, and there probably is, right? If we really trust radically 110% in spirit, in God's universe source, that everything is happening for a reason, even if our human minds can't comprehend it or our human minds don't agree with it. And I, just as much as anyone, do not want harm or anything bad to come to anyone. I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish that on the world. I don't, sometimes when stuff like that happens, and I don't know, it's hard to make sense of it in a way that feels good to us as humans, right? So I would venture to say that the same principle goes for the collective. Our current situation is kind of a manifestation or a cumulative kind of sum total of all of our decision making. That would probably apply for everything that's going on in the rest of the world too. It is kind of the result of all of our decision making and all of our thinking up until now. So every moment means we have an opportunity to think and do differently. Not a blame and shame statement. It just is. Because I like to think that way, because I don't want control of my life or my destiny being in the hands of anyone or anything else. So when I say that, I can choose to think differently. I can choose to do differently. It's not to say that's because you messed up so much before and you screwed up and you did bad before. No, it's to say that I'm in control. I have the power. I hold the power. Even if it seems like there are other powers that are pushing down or that are trying to restrict or oppress, there are still choices I can make every single moment, every single day about how I'm thinking and how I act. There are different habits I can form. And so I would say that, right now we have a new year. That means that we can still look back and have things we were grateful for, even if the current situation is not absolutely ideal. It's not our best life. It's not our most fulfilling life. Or as one of my mentors says, not your 10iest 10. That means between 1 and 10, 1 being, and 10 being, this is amazing. This is nirvana. This is awesome. And yes, we should be going for the 10, by the way. It's not, This is not about, you hear people say, you know, nothing's perfect. Why the fuck not? Like, why wouldn't we want it to be as fulfilling and exciting and empowering as possible, and to feel as good as possible? It's funny how we argue for feeling like shit. We argue for limitations. We argue for oppression. Even though we say we hate it, we argue for it. Because if anything's too good, it's like, no, that's too good to be true, or no, that can't be right. There's got to be a catch. Fuck the catch. Like, I think that this year, I posted this yesterday, what if the goal for this year was simply to just love yourself more? That's it. Instead of all this complicated, I'm going to do 100 crunches a day. I'm going to make $10,000 a month in 6 months. I'm going to, or make my first million. I'm going to do all this, that we end up going, because either our monkey mind kicks in and says, you know, that's not possible. You haven't experienced that before. I have no past reference. Your monkey mind goes on past reference and will start beating you up for it. Even though that's false, a false method, false strategy, because there's nothing to beat yourself up for your past, okay? You did the best you could with the situations and awareness that you had. Plain and simple. Spirit knows that. God knows that. We need to know that. So, so instead of this big, all this like stuff on the to-do list that makes you overwhelmed and want to throw up, or makes you say, yeah, right, inside, and eventually it's going to wear you down. Even though we're going to work on that mindset, like that's part of it. Why not just say that for this year, it's simply just to love yourself more? Because if you do that, so many choices or so many things we would probably do differently if that was the goal, to just love ourselves as much as we may love our children, if we love our partners, or whatever that is, our families, right? So what if we just did that? What would the ripple effect be with just that one goal, to simply love yourself more in 2022? That would probably mean you would want to up-level your health in whatever way you can. That would probably mean you would want to up-level your mindset. That would probably mean you might want to learn something new, or maybe you want to learn something that's always been on your heart. You want to follow those higher callings. That would mean that you want to do something for a living, if you have a job or a career or a business that actually turns you on and doesn't make you go, pays the bills. You would probably, if you're just simply loving yourself more, you would want to have more fun and joy, instead of like denying yourself all the fun and joy, saying maybe someday. Maybe when I have this, then I can have fun. When I have this, then I can relax. When this happens, then. Fuck when and then. That's very self-sabotaging, right? So it's very discouraging, right? We're empowering here. You would probably make decisions to show up in a different way in your relationships, or you might want to let go of some relationships that are not fulfilling and nurturing you, that are not aligned with you. You might choose to manage your time differently. You might choose to make changes in your physical environment so that you feel nurtured, you feel at home, you feel centered and at peace. You might ask for help more so that you feel supported. So many things. You might make choices to communicate more, reach out more, maybe with some that you haven't been in touch with for all, that you miss, that you want to, you want to reopen communication, or, rebuild that bridge, or, just reach out and tell someone how much you care about them. We would say things differently. Not only would we love ourselves, but we would love ourselves more by expressing our love more and not being afraid. We wouldn't let fear make our decisions for us. That's the shit. And we would communicate with our higher selves, with our intuitive sense as much as possible, goal being 24/7, so that we are making choices and decisions from that higher self. Your higher self is where your higher calling is where your most like joy, happiness, fulfillment is, in your ability to receive as well as give, your ability to feel safe and at home in your body and in the world. So all of those things combined together mean that you are loving yourself more, therefore manifesting your best life. We hear that now as a cliche. I'm living my best life, or I'm manifesting my best life, but I'm going to reclaim it as a non-cliche. I just renamed my group Manifesting Your Best Life because, oh, and if you loved yourself a little more, you would really work on regulating your nervous system so that we are stepping out of fight or flight mode on a frequent basis. I know I am hardcore working on this coming up because one of my ways of loving myself in the next year is to up-level my body care. My self-care and my body care, that's included in all that. I'm just going to say up-level my self-care. Okay, so self-care is going to mean everything possible. I'm grateful in 2021, and if you're on this video, if you're watching the replay, definitely post replay below. If you are feeling any of this, drop me an emoji or a 1 in the comments right now. And if you want to share with me what you are grateful for from the last year, I would love to hear it. Please drop it in the comments, right? We're here in community and solidarity with each other. We're here in community with each other because I truly feel like humans really we can fire ourselves up and we can motivate ourselves completely, right? But when we are in a group, when one or more gather or two or more gather with a similar intention, I feel like the universe comes in and is even more of a powerful force to start helping us to manifest and putting this intention out into the universe. And this is not woo stuff. This is even in the Bible when Jesus said 2 or more gather in my name, not a religious statement here. This is just what he said. And I believe that Jesus had a lot of good stuff going on. I think he kind of got it, as far as how the universe works and how to share, how to manifest. So he said, when 2 or more are gathered in my name. So some people may take that in a religious sense, and I think humans have used that. I could do a whole other live stream on this too. Use that for their own gain or their own religion purposes. And we're talking about, we're gathering in Jesus' name. You can. I think what he really meant is that when 2 or more people are coming together with one similar, like-minded intention and taking inspired action towards that and sending that out into the universe, your thoughts become things, then shit starts moving. It's this strange thing, right? That we see how change happens in the world when groups get together and do things. Stuff happens. So anything that you can express here is a safe space. And you can do this too in my group. If you want, I'm going to put the link to my group in the comments later, but you can really do that in my group as well, Manifesting Your Best Life. And I'm always grateful for my family, my husband who is my partner in growth. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say partner in crime because we're not doing any crime, but what we are doing is my partner in growth and partner in manifesting, and there's nothing, better than that. And he just takes care of business. What can I say? On so many levels. And my kids, I have my 19-year-old. This was weird being my first holiday without my 19-year-old being a huge part of it. She's off and, living with friends now, and it's just like a new phase, a new era, and it sometimes hurts. So I would say I'm grateful for it because she's an independent woman. She is becoming what I raised her to be. And I don't mean me, I told her to do it and it's all because of me. I'm not taking credit. She's her own soul, this sovereign soul, but feels good enough and strong enough to step into being on her own. And she's got her own ideas and got her own desires, and she's not afraid to claim it and ask for it, declare it, and do it. I'm like, shit, it hurts, but this is exactly what I wanted her to do. So I have to celebrate it and say, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. But it's weird. It's weird. You moms, I'm sure some of you moms already know what I'm saying when your oldest is on her own doing things. And she decorated the tree with us. I will be grateful for that. But wasn't there on Christmas morning, and it just wasn't there leading up to Christmas, going and looking at the lights with us, and it's strange and it's bittersweet. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful of the woman she's becoming, and grateful that she feels like she is empowered enough to do so. Thank you. So I'm grateful I'm going to say right now, I'm grateful for technology because in the last 2 years, it has been my younger children and my 16-year-olds kind of like social connections saving grace in a way. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, the screen time is going to be the end of them and destroys them. I say, I will not fear. No weapon formed against any of us will prosper. I don't see it as a weapon. I don't see it as something threatening. It's only threatening if I say it is, because it has been their way to communicate with other children. And, you know, right now with our limited places to go and be, it has been, and it allows them to go to school in a way that they love. We're doing virtual schooling, not through the public school. We're doing our own program. It's like a homeschooling virtual, and it's so good. And so I found a new way to be a homeschooler without tell me you're a homeschooler without telling me you're a homeschooler. I don't want to teach the classes. So I have these teachers, these beautiful teachers that teach the class, and I just support. That's the kind of homeschooling I can get behind. And it's great because it's only like 2 hours a day. We're done. So it's bonus win-win for all of us. Grateful for that. And they're just a warm and loving community. I'm grateful for that. So grateful for our wood stove. We have a wood stove that we fired up that wasn't working for a long time. We fired it up this year and it smells, I can smell it. Well, right now my husband's cooking homemade sauce and I can smell that, and I'm trying hard not to go downstairs and eat something. But the wood stove is so amazing. And you feel free to chime in, y'all who are watching. You have anything you're grateful for in 2021, tell me. Let's create like a total energy of gratitude right now of everything. I'm grateful for these. There were so many things that were tough about all the lockdowns, but I'm grateful for it in the sense that I've made some amazing online friends myself that I cherish. Jody, you're one of them if you're watching, that I did not know before this, and so many soul sisters, and I'm grateful for that. And Outlander. I would not have watched Outlander had it not been for 2020 and Cobra Kai. I probably would have said, no, I was just like very anti TV before 2020. I just did not have any time for that. It was always learning something, personal development, learning business, learning whatever. And I slowed down in 2020 with that a little bit. I'll never stop doing that ever. It's always part of my day. But I also allowed in some other things that were just pleasure for pleasure. Outlander, A to the goddamn men. I love that show. I'm obsessed with it. Stranger Things too, and Cobra Kai. Those three, I love it. And I just watched the Cobra Kai new season. I binged watched it for the last 2 days. Highly recommend. It's so, oh my God, it's so like funny yet politically incorrect. You can tell a Gen Xer wrote it. You can, because it's Gen Xer angst mixed with some enlightenment. So it's like, anyway, but so there are those things. Grateful for that. Grateful for working on my health still this year. As you all know, I went through quite a bumpy journey with, I'm grateful for my business, my readings. Those have been very successful for me, and I'm still going strong with them. My love and business coaching, I love doing. And my product partner companies. Y'all know that I have just started with a new one, working with Prove It and the ketones, the therapeutic ketones. Why? And I'm grateful. You can look at my skin right now and my hair. Now, some of you know, remember when I did that video back in June about how my skin was so like, has so much moisture all of a sudden. I felt like I didn't have to wear lotion anymore, and my hair was looking like soft and shiny. And what's up with that? Because if any of you have issues with mold exposure, Lyme and co-infections, autoimmunity, autoimmune thyroid, anything like that, like Lyme, lupus, MS, any of those rheumatoid RA, any of those kinds of things, or digestive issues, even hormonal issues. I'm 50, so I'm, going into premenopause, and all these different things. You notice that a lot of times your hair and your skin and even your nails get affected by this, and you can kind of gauge a temperature gauge on your overall health by your hair, skin, and nails, for real. I know, and I've watched it happen. If I posted a picture of me right now from 2017, you could see my hair. Holy shit. It was short. not by choice. It broke off. Like this is, it's no joke, especially you're dealing with like fungal infections, like gut imbalance, candida. I'm with you on all this stuff. So earlier this year, I had worked with a product, a fulvic acid, humic acid product that made huge changes for me. Like I did the videos about them, you'll probably remember. And if you're one of my customers or one of my team members, you probably remember, like you were probably looking at those videos going, OMG, like I had all this transformation fast. And even like, I slimmed down quite a bit. Like the bloating made such a, you have to see a picture. I am crying over it when I think about it. I posted a picture over the summer of like my torso and the slimming down that happened from the inflammation dropping so quickly. It was like, hallelujah. Now, sadly, that company, and I won't even name it, right? Because I'm not declaring anything that drains my energy or brings any kind of shit energy this year. I'm not declaring, but that company sadly mismanaged, made crap leadership, made a lot of very poor choices, and that product has been pulled. Companies closed, product pulled, bunch of drama, okay, which I'm also not doing in 2022. I just say, okay, like if I get the red flags, bye-bye. So unfortunately, many people were hurt by this. And this is the risk sometimes of online businesses. Hi, Sherilyn. The risk of online business stuff, whether it's, direct sales, network marketing, coaching, healing, like any kind of online business you open. Or anyone you product partner with. Like there's a lot now, brand ambassador is a big thing. If you are an influencer on Instagram, like you see, oh, use my code Jen 20% off, or, you use like whatever, my special link. This is common stuff now. And even the companies that you shop from every day usually have incentive programs now. If you share this with a certain amount of people, you get points towards products and stuff. It's catching on. I mean, network marketing has been around for decades and decades and decades, but now this concept of they want social media influencers because of the power of it, why wouldn't they? Why would they want to pay a lot of money for marketing and radio ads, TV ads, social media ads, when they can pay people on the ground to just do it, and all they're doing is giving you free product, or they're giving you some commission? I think it works out well for them. So, but that's the risk sometimes when a company is brand new. My last two companies I partnered with were brand new, kind of like startup situations, and I learned tough lessons with those two. Unfortunately, that's the risk. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, so I don't mind taking risks. I think that there's always good that comes out of it, and there's a lesson. So the good was, I saw what remineralizing my gut was doing for me. I could tell that I needed that gut help and that mineralizing help. So I'll always be aware of that now going forward, the importance of minerals and the importance of digestive health. Okay. But I also made amazing friends and connections, always do. And I learned a lot about, what I don't want to do in business. So yeah. And I learned a lot about what I don't want to be as a leader and more about who I want to be. So this time around, when things were falling apart with that company, I started quietly kind of testing some other products, and there are many amazing ones out there, and there are many companies who have complete integrity. They have a great reputation. They have top-notch products. They have top-notch customer service. They have top-notch brand partner service, all the things, or ambassador, promoter, whatever you call it, distributor, and top-notch leadership. I suggest when you partner with companies, you do your homework and you look for those things. That's probably a separate video too. See, that's what I do. I tend to do one live stream, and then I should be probably splitting them up into 5 different ones and making more content with those little things. But I love to chat with y'all because you like my BFFs. And drop like an emoji or an amen in the comments if you know what I mean, or if you've been through this. So, but my heart always goes out when people lose money, they have product they can't use, or, whatever it is. That sucks. Like, that so sucks. And it's so unacceptable. Like, I mean, come on, like some people, I just have no time for that. It's unacceptable to be careless with other people and their hard-earned money and their hearts and souls who have a vision and a dream, and then you just kind of like stomp on it. That's not cool at all. So for that always really, really hurts me, but I will bounce back. and I will continue. That doesn't never ever stops me from my mission of helping myself, up leveling my self-care. And I have no problem with traditional, I shouldn't even say traditional, there's no such thing. I have no problem with allopathic medicine. I have no problem with mainstream medicine. I think it has its place and has a lot of value, and I will absolutely always tap into that, right, in the places where it's appropriate for me. There have also been times when mainstream medicine has failed me, when I've been misdiagnosed, misprescribed, and it has really harmed me as well. Or I have just doctors who don't want to listen. They don't care. They just don't want to hear it, and they're not open to anything but, what they've been taught. Or what they've been told, or whatever the heck inspires or incentivizes them. I'm not, here to conspiracy theorize, but what I will say is, it's sad when some things have become so much for profit that you don't know what the difference is between those who really want to serve and those who are just looking to make a buck, or are just following the directive because they don't want to lose their jobs. You know what I mean? So I've always been dedicated to looking for things and trying things, test and tweak in a safe way, very safe, and listening to those who are other than mainstream medicine, naturopaths, homeopathy, other kinds of, DOs, like, chiropractors. I mean, I'm always open to learning more and more and more. So that's the thing. So right now I have, as y'all know, I announced this earlier on my profile that I've partnered with Prove It, and I am now working with the therapeutic ketones because I've read a lot about ketosis and doing a modified keto diet. I don't believe in anything hardcore, and anyone who's going to come on here and say the keto diet is this and this and that, if it's not for you, don't do it. Or if you didn't absolutely come and share your opinion. I appreciate everyone's opinion and insights. I'm always open, right? But I will say that believe me, I've tried a lot of different things, and I know there are so many different types of stuff out there. There's the Walls Protocol, there's autoimmune protocol, there are, things like the high protein, low carb, there's things like keto, there are things like, what else? The Whole30, right? There are so many different, there's paleo, and I've probably tried most of them. And I can always say that there's no one right thing. There's always, or vegan, not vegetarian, there's so much. You can only test and tweak and try and know yourself, so you know what feels good to you, you know what is safe for you, you know what is going on in your body. So if there's any potential kind of reactions or anything like that, I am very sensitive to everything. I'm not even kidding. I just lit a candle in my house, and I'm like, oh, it's so, I'm even sensitive to perfumes and candles and makeup. I wear very little right now because I can't, I'm sensitive to things, sensitive to medications, both mainstream pharmaceutical and supplements. I have to be careful of all of it. So my what am I calling it? My method of operation is always low and slow. Okay. Slow and steady wins the race, slow and slow. So when Rita, I've always been successful with keto. Yes. My husband is geeking out on the science, which I'm grateful for because I love the science, but to read a lot of research sometimes is I'm always going with the woo-woo first. But he has been totally geeking out on the science and research and sharing it with me, especially when it comes to people who have Lyme, who have autoimmunity, and who are going through hormonal shifts and all that. I want to know, what are the details here? What's going on? And what if you're dealing with some conditions, what are the possible, issues that could come? I want to know it all. So we've been looking at this, and hardcore diets are not for me. So I'm going to be doing a clean, kind of a lazy clean keto, which means I'm not into no carbs. Nope. Did that before, as part of a Candida diet, Candida cleanse. And I'll tell you what, it was not pretty. Yeah, I slimmed down quite a bit, and there were some good changes, but the tough parts did not do it for me. That there were other things that happened that I didn't like that just, nope. So hardcore means no, we need carbs. We need we need that fuel too. But I will be doing more of a clean keto, which means whole foods, which means organic when possible, but not processed, packaged, and not artificially sweetened, which some like, I'm not doing like a dirty keto where I'm not looking to eat, junk food, get an excuse to have more junk food or have like higher fat, greasy stuff, which some can do and rock on, you do you, but I don't want to use the artificial, like the Splendas, and like do like sugar-free packs of Jell-O just to keep it keto. Like that's not what I'm about. And people can feel free to do that. I'm going to be doing this in a way that's, whole foods for me. So keep watching. I'm going to start doing some live streams with my keto kitchen recipes. So as we're diving into this, you get to watch. First on the agenda is probably fat bombs. Just going to give you a preview. But it's going to be super fun. So, Sherilyn says paleo and keto have been my friend as well. I'm gluten sensitive and lactose intolerant. So we're the same. And I agree with you. Kind of like that I'm going to be doing a paleo keto almost. And, I am not only lactose intolerant, but I'm casein sensitive. I have a hard time digesting casein, which means I also can't go heavy on the dairy with this keto, because then I'll just push my food sensitivities to another level, and that's inflammatory. So yeah. So what am I going to do is I am going to do my exogenous ketones. I'm going to drink them also. And that is why I've partnered with Prove It, because it checks all my boxes. They're a company that's been around. They're established, check. They're debt-free, check. They have amazing, incredible leadership that is forward-thinking, check. And they care about their customers and their promoters, check. And my sponsor is someone who is very, very serious about her business, is committed to really working with her people the way I would be, or the way I have been, and I want to be when I form my own army of promoters. Yes. And the product has been scientifically tested, scientifically proven. There are people who are doing this that I trust, that are really working on that science piece. This is not just something taken somewhere that with no testing, no proof of anything, and who knows what's in it or why. Boom, and they're patented. They're the only ones out there, and it's awesome. And the prices are reasonable. And if they even feel too tight for someone's budget, you can use Sezzle, so you can pay in payments. So I'm like, so at all of my beautiful soul community at all different budget levels can access this, and it's easy and it tastes good. Okay. So this is where I'm at. And right now, look at my hair and my skin already. Now I'm seeing recovery. When I stopped taking that other product that I was working with, I have to say a lot of my symptoms returned, and I was like, shit. Like my skin looked kind of like dry, cracked, and dull again. My hair started to look dry and started to look breaky. What's that when your ends are split endsy, kind of, bleh. And I could tell my nails were starting to peel again, or they were getting a little more ridgy. So you can really tell. And I'm so happy that my nails are growing back and my skin looks kind of moist again. Here's how I know. I use coconut oil on my face as a moisturizer. That's what I use. That's it. Coconut oil, straight up from the jar. Now, for the past few months, or past couple of months, since I've been kind of in between products, okay, and I think my gut and hormones are getting out of balance again, the coconut oil would get sucked up into my face immediately. You couldn't even tell I put any on, because it was so my skin was obviously needing it. Now look how greasy I look. I have to actually probably reduce the amount that I'm putting on, because you can see I'm glowing and greasy. This is grease. And I was trying to put on my makeup and it kept on, my eyeliner kept smudging off, because it was I couldn't, the coconut oil was so thick, I couldn't show it. I had to dry my face off a little. Thank you. It looks very dewy. Thank you, Rita. That's what I'm going for, because I love feeling that way. My skin tends to be dry, and I itch and scratch, and my arms feel good. The little red bumps that are on the back of the arms here, on the tops of my thighs, that means inflammation is starting to set in. They're getting less. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, so I know, and my hair is once again, it's funny because when I know I haven't colored my hair for a while, but the blonde is starting to start to get brighter again. And it looks like it's not stringy and not gnarly as, yes. So things are happening. And I noticed too that I'm sleeping a little better, because y'all know I posted that I have mild sleep apnea. I just found that out a couple of months ago. I was bummed. So up leveling me in 2022 is a must. Like I can't be doing that. And I will probably have to try the old CPAP machine, but they're all backlogged, and that's fine. I don't mind trying it. But the other way to possibly remedy that is to lose weight. That's the other way. And so that's part of the plan. So being in ketosis for me means my body is burning fat for fuel as opposed to carbohydrates or glucose. So it's burning that. And so that is, for me, it's not a weight loss supplement, okay? But it does have that muscle preservation, that fat burning ketosis process. And you are in ketosis within an hour of drinking. I don't have one on me because I have run out and my shipment should be here like tomorrow, and I have learned my lesson because I was doing my sample pack and I loved it, and I just didn't order it in time. Shame on moi. So I have learned my lesson. So mine is coming, and I'll show you the whole thing when I get it, how to pour it in, shake it, and drink it. One of my favorite flavors is cotton candy. So it's really good. And that's it. I'm in that ketosis no matter what I eat. Obviously, if I overdid it on the carbs, I'm sure that it would kind of cancel it out. So I do want to be mindful and be doing, some lower carb diet, right? But to optimize the effects, but geez. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to be exercising more and faithfully and meditating, because at the same time, I'm going to be working on healing the nervous system. My vagus nerve, I believe that's a bigger part of our health than we know, than they talk about. And so many of us are in some form of traumatic response, some sort of trauma response from childhood, teenager, young adult. And we're all in this fight or flight, whether it's from the current world situation or past, or it's just triggering. So that's why I'm working on this. So I'm working on nervous system healing and regulating as well, right? Because I don't want to just have all of this work that I'm doing on myself be canceled out by the fact that I'm always in fight or flight mode. So in that chronic stress space, right, you may not get long-lasting results. You may still find your health not doing as well, even though you're doing all the right things. Maybe you're losing the weight, maybe your muscles are toning, but why do I still feel like shit? Why do I still feel chronic pain? Because there's some internal healing to do too. So that's going to be key for me. So the meditation helps with that. I'm going to be doing Kundalini yoga exercises with a little bit of like chanting to help that vagus nerve, that tone and those stretches, as well as some light like weight resistance training. Okay, because I'm 50, I'm not doing hardcore Tae Bo like I did in my 20s. I rocked the Tae Bo. I'll tell you something, that was fun. I also rocked the step aerobics like a machine, okay? I would sometimes go to the gym twice a day. I'm not even kidding. Like, I loved it. We're not there anymore. We're not there. The hardcore cardio for premenopausal and menopausal women, not it, okay? Not it. Unless you love it and it makes your heart sing, nah. So if you're wondering why you're still jogging or you're doing aerobics and it's still your body's not changing much, I would suggest working on some light weight training, strength training, or just some like, squatting, like those types of exercises. I have to make sure I watch my joints. I have to make sure it's light on my body because of all that I've been through with like Lyme and stuff. Like my knees can really hurt or, need some love. My neck and shoulders need some love. And I think from probably poor posture, from like breastfeeding in the wrong position, from sitting in my computer in the wrong position, from all sorts of like, posture over the years, my chiropractor's like, Jen, behave. I have to really work on that straightening up, and the neck and shoulders have sort of paid a price for that. So I can't doing crunches while like pulling on your neck, not happening. So I'm going to help you with that. You're like, how do I do that? I'm going to help you with that in my group. Go to Manifesting Your Best Life. Starting Monday, tomorrow, Monday through Friday at 9:00 a.m. Eastern, I'm going to lead a meditation with some Kundalini yoga warm-ups leading into a light, maybe like 10-15 minute exercise routine. And it's going to be, anyone who's under 50 can still do it, right? But it's really designed to make sure I am keep protecting the bodies of those of us over 50 or over 40. So I've come up with that. Here I have all my stuff. I have it all right here. I can't wait to do it. So it's going to be live. I don't know how it's going to look because I have my phone or my iPad and we're going to be doing it on my floor. This is raw and real. I don't have a fancy dancy studio, but I'm doing it because it's important to me. I'm going to document my fitness journey with you, my self-care journey. I'm going to document this with you so you can see me and then you can do it with me. Because I know if I'm feeling this way, there are other women who feel this way. I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one who needs better self-care. I know I'm not the only one who wants to elevate her life, her body, her mind, soul, bank account in the next year. I'm not the only one. I know y'all are out there. And I am going to take as many of you with me as I can if you'll let me, right? If you'll let me. I'm not going to force you. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to come and sell you or whatever. I am here to inspire those who want to be inspired and who want to work with me in this way. And that means if, you know, joining me on my my drinkable ketone challenge, okay? And getting on board with that, there's a $10,000 giveaway happening with that. So you can do the meditation, the exercises in my free group. Doesn't matter. You don't have to have the ketones. But for those of you who up level to the next level and drink the ketones with me, there's a $10,000, a $5,000, a $2,000 giveaway for you after you document your journey of 4 weeks with this. So, and it's movement, it's exercise, it's movement, it's hydration, it's ketones, it's sharing your journey. All good. We're doing all the things. So we're going to be altering your eating plan to take in less of those nasty sugars and the crappy carbs, you know what I mean? So if you think you can handle it, if you think you can do it with me, do it. I encourage you. You will get love and support. I'm always here messaging me. I'm in the groups. You'll have recipes. I'll give you access to thousands of recipes, exercise ideas when you're not watching with me, all sorts of mindset tips, all kinds of things. You'll have 10 tons of support, probably so much you'll be like, oh my God. So if you're interested in any of that, comment below the word me, and I will message you after this and get you the information that you need. And I want to have you going into this year feeling like this is doable, this is attainable, that it's easy, that it's fun, even though, yeah, it's always work. But, when you have a community, when you have support and love and fun, it can be fun too. Like, it doesn't have to be this like chore and this sucky thing. And I want you to feel like you are seen, heard, and supported as well. Those of you who would like to have your own link for the ketones, you try it and you're like, shit, this is amazing. Because if you're like me and my husband doesn't get into anything, okay? Like, my husband supports me no matter what I do, but he doesn't always get excited about this. He actually has joined me as a promoter for this, and he's super excited, can't wait. He's like, I need those things, I need them. He's like, and he's usually whatever. So if he's happy enough to do the research and the science and geek out on it, then there's something going on. Although his goals are different. Did anyone have a partner out there who can eat whatever he wants, do whatever he wants, and he still looks like he's the same size in high school? Yeah, that's my husband, okay? So he's not in it for the fat burning. He's in it for, he actually wants to get more toned. He wants to actually build up a little more, and he's in it for the mental focus and clarity. That's what he's in it for, and the energy. That's why he's interested in ketosis. And I am too, but the fat burning is, I'm just not gonna lie, okay? I'm not gonna show you, but I did take my before pictures yesterday and I was like, okay, wow, that looks different. So anyways, I plan on having some good after pictures, because if I don't, I will cry. No, don't is not an option. That is not an option. It will happen. When I'm on something, I'm on it, period. Okay. So with that, all right, Rita, cool. I will get you some info. Renee says, I'm 51. I hear you. Girl, we're right in the same space pretty much. So do you use ketosis or the ketones to test your degree of fat loss through urine? You don't need to with this product unless maybe you have a pre-existing condition, like maybe if you're diabetic or something like that, you might want to go that extra step to test with the urine strips. Let's see. Amen, sister. Sherilyn says yes. I would like info as well. Sherilyn, you know I'm going to get you the info. So what that means is I will start by adding you to my group. I'll invite you. I don't say add you, I'll invite you. When you accept the invitation, go to the featured section. There's the first post that has a lot of information and a really fast video. I'll tag you there. You'll see your name tagged there. That's step 1. And then when you've seen that, just let me know that you've seen it, okay? And then we'll go on to step 2. And join me for the meditation if you can tomorrow. And I call it Get Up and Glow. That's what we're going to do. Get Up and Glow, and Monday through Friday, because yeah, it's happening. It's happening. We're glowing. We're going to glow. So I've said a lot. We've probably been on for a while here. I love talking with you all. I love being here with you. Any questions, drop them in the comments for me. If you feel like anyone you know needs to hear what I'm saying or might want to join you on this train, by the way, if you do go onto my ketone challenge and you get your own link no matter what. Even if you're not technically a promoter, okay, you can get free ketones if you refer to customers. Right? So 2 customers, 2 of your friends or 2 of your family members that want to join you in this. And I believe getting yourselves on our Smart Ship, which means, every month you get that same package so you can replenish your supply. Then you can get yours for free. So it's pretty awesome. So there's lots of good stuff. And like I said, there's an option with Sezzle, so it can fit any budget wherever you're at. I love Sezzle. I love all those things. It's Affirm, Sezzle. They're so good, right? Quad Pay. Rock on with that. Rock on. Power to the people. Any other questions, let me know. Go to my website, thewitchyceo.com, and you can see all the choices. My chakra meditation, my readings, my ketones, all of it's there. So you can just go click away and just message me with any questions. I love you all. Happy New Year. Happy second day of New Year. Thanks for being here talking about gratitude today and goals upcoming. This isn't just cliche stuff. We're really going to do this now. We're really going to do this. We're going to be ready for whatever the world throws at us going forward. We can't afford to be sleeping on this. We've learned this way. We've learned this. And we've had 2 years to go inward and really find who we are and what we want. And our decisions that we make right now are what's going to create your life 3 to 5 years from now. Where do you want to be? I know where I want to be, and I want to help you get where you want to be. So with that, I love you all. Mwah. I will see you on the next video. Check out my Facebook and Instagram stories as well, because I'm going to start up-leveling that for fun, and I'm going to have you step out of your comfort zone, some of you, and start doing them too, because why not? And we'll talk later. I love you guys.